Hi, this is Anton Simanowitz again. I just wanted to talk a little bit about one area of social performance management that I think is really important. For me, managing social performance isn't about the information, it's not about the indicators, it's not about reporting on social performance, but it's about your day-to-day decisions in an organisation, how you manage your priorities. And I think one of the points where it's the most visible, in a sense, is delinquency management. This is the point where most organisations say the bottom line is people have to repay. We need to make sure, as an organisation, that we have high repayment rates, delinquency can't be tolerated. A lot of organisations, for example, have a zero tolerance policy on delinquency. So great, but what's the consequence of that? I think often you don't really hear what's happening, and the message goes from the head office that we have zero tolerance policy, goes to managers, and the managers say to their staff, you need to repay. Often staff incentives are based on this as well, and you may have a third of a loan officer's salary being based on having a low portfolio at risk or lower arrears. So in a sense, a lot of organisations, the message goes out, make sure the money comes back, and we're not going to ask any questions about how. One example I heard of was an organisation in Kenya where there was some market research done, and the clients reported that the loan officers were devils, and they said basically all they care about is getting money back, they don't care about us as people. So the question really is, I think I said previously, is not just do people repay, but how do they repay? And if you're focusing just on zero tolerance and making sure you get your money back, how are you understanding whether people are having negative impacts in order to get that money back? You hear from many examples of centre meetings where nobody's allowed to leave the centre meeting until everybody's repaid. People will go out, go into the community, find some money. Where do they find the money? Well, probably from money lenders. So if we're talking about managing social performance, it's points like delinquency management where we need to think about how do we combine a social focus with the financial imperatives. How do we balance the incentives, for example, so we're not just incentivising people to get money back in any way. How do we build in flexibility so that if people have problems, poor people inevitably have problems, and we know that they're going to have problems, so how do we deal with that when they happen? Rather than just saying, well, we're just concerned about getting our money back. And I think that this is a very practical example of where social performance management actually affects the whole way we think about microfinance and how we run our organisations.